Good morning. I'm Matt Weintraub, Bucks County District Attorney, and I have an update on an incident that we reported out to the public regarding the February 5th McDonald's hit and run in Bristol Township, which we are now classifying as a homicide. Daniel Dietrich, a resident of Palmyra, New Jersey, has now been charged with homicide, what we call hit and run, and driving under suspension. He has been remanded to Bucks County Prison on a no bail status. Just to review some of the facts with you, on Sunday, February the 5th of this year at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Bristol Township Police responded to the Bristol Pike McDonald's in Bristol Township. Upon arrival, they identified a male lying in the McDonald's parking lot as Jason Smith. He was alive at the time. Smith was taken to Jefferson Torresdale Hospital, where he did die as a result of his injuries, which were then assessed as major blunt force trauma to his chest and torso area. While at the McDonald's, the police found a dark color plastic truck running board end cap, which we prominently featured in our original press conference, and a hammer near Smith, who was prone in the parking lot. After our press conference a day later on this fatal hit and run, Bristol Township Police Department, who is here with me today, and the Bucks County detectives, who of course are here with me, investigated numerous tips for which we asked of the public regarding the whereabouts and location of the suspected pickup truck, and the driver rather, of the suspected pickup truck. We did get many tips, and one of those tips, the caller wishes to remain anonymous, but we are nevertheless very grateful, indicated that it was in fact Daniel Dietrich who was driving that Chevy Silverado pickup truck and who ran over Mr. Smith. Upon investigating this tip, Bristol Township Police did locate the pickup truck with the missing running board end cap parked at a residence in Palmyra, Burlington County, New Jersey. The police then observed Daniel Dietrich, who had a suspended driver's license, entering this pickup truck as though to drive away. We would not have solved this homicide without the public's help, which is something that we call for quite often. The tipster led us directly to the defendant, and we now have concrete probable cause to make this arrest. I'd also like to thank the Palmyra Township Police Department and the Burlington County detectives. I'd like to reconstruct the crime a little bit, because at the time that we gave our initial press conference, there was some uncertainty as to who was at fault and whether somebody would be criminally charged. But now we are confident that the evidence indicates that as Dietrich entered Route 13 from Interstate 95, he may have cut off another driver, who we now know to be Smith, while trying to merge, and the two became involved in a verbal altercation while in their separate vehicles. The police retrieved surveillance from the McDonald's and nearby businesses, capturing Haynes Road and Route 13 intersections, and on that video they were able to observe the verbal altercation between Dietrich and Smith continued into the McDonald's parking lot. But what we also observe is the defendant following Smith into the parking lot, and then pulls in front of him and then backs into a parking spot at the McDonald's. The victim, Smith, then pulls alongside of the McDonald's, gets out of his car, retrieves what we now know to be a hammer from his trunk, and approaches the defendant in his truck. Dietrich then knocked Smith down with his truck and ran over him. Dietrich then fled the area, not stopping, not slowing down, not calling 911. and this investigation into Smith's homicide ensued. Many of you are probably wondering why this is not a pure self-defense claim, and there are several legal reasons for this. It is my determination that the defendant caused and then aggravated this altercation when he had many other peaceful options at his disposal. Some of his options included not only the duty to retreat, but the actual factual ability to retreat. Review of that same surveillance video revealed that the defendant had an alternative, clear exit out of the parking lot as opposed to striking and running over Smith. He could have easily driven to the right and avoided this whole terrible, tragic criminal incident. As I prepared to speak to you today, I was thinking about how and why this is so tragic and senseless. These two guys didn't know each other. There's no evidence that they had any contact with each other other than this one spur-of-the-moment road rage type altercation. Both of these guys were working men. Smith, 47, was a forklift operator and a truck driver for Kelly Pipe in Fairless Hills. Dietrich, 45 years old, was a subcontractor and a painter by trade. It seems to me these two guys had a lot in common. Probably had they met in regular circumstances, they would have gotten along and even been friends. If both drivers allow whatever it was that caused this altercation to not bother them and get under their skin. If the defendant doesn't follow the victim into the McDonald's parking lot and then park as opposed to driving away or driving through. If the defendant calls 911 or goes into the McDonald's or just drives away, we wouldn't be here. But each, in their own way, chose to escalate this. Now Jason Smith is dead, and Daniel Dietrich is charged with killing him. We live according to a social compact. We agree to follow the rules of the road, but if somebody chooses not to, we still must have thicker skin and just keep driving. Not every incident on the roadway is cause to demonstrate road rage in any form, because this is sometimes the deadly consequence. Let's honor that social compact. Let's just all get home safe to our families. This case will be prosecuted by Deputy District Attorney Megan Hunsaker, who is the head of our crash unit, Bristol Township Police Department, and Bucks County Detectives. If you have any questions, I'll take them now. Yes?
So are you saying that because of the different exits in the parking lot, does it seem intentional though then that he hits him and runs him over?
It will be for a fact finder to make that ultimate determination, but we clearly have probable cause. We have the advantage of seeing the video. There were so many other options that the defendant could have taken, and he exercised the only deadly one. Anybody else?
Was there, or is there, I mean, he's not charged with it, of it rising to murder charges?
Well, criminal homicide encompasses, as you know, a broad range of charges, which includes murder, includes manslaughter, many forms. That is yet to be determined. I'm sure that the defendant will offer some defenses, which we will consider, and we will take a very just and fair approach to resolving this case if that is ever possible. But right now, he's only charged with these crimes. He remains innocent until proven guilty, but we're confident in the evidence that we've put forth. This was a great investigation. It was great help by the public that brings us here to be able to resolve this case for the victim's family.
Does the driving on a suspended license have any kind of push to
Yes, that is one of the elements of one of the offenses, one of the hit and run offenses for which he's charged.
I missed, is he being held right now, or is he out on bail? Or?
No, he's locked up on no bail status at Bucks County Prison. I will say that he was in New Jersey. He did voluntarily turn himself in over the weekend. I think it was late Friday night. He was arraigned on Friday night. By him turning himself in, it avoided a costly and lengthy extradition, to give him credit for that. Anybody else?
Have you been in contact with the victim's family? What are they saying?
We have been in contact with the victim's family. I think that they were nervous and concerned that we were going to make a pure self-defense determination. They're relieved. They're still grieving, of course, but they're relieved that we were able to solve this crime and to make an arrest to bring somebody to justice for killing their loved one.
So the victim took the hammer out of his trunk and approached him?
Yes, that's right. Okay? All right, thank you all. I appreciate your time.